for a half hour of high adventure.
And welcome back to Real Talk Rewind. This is where we peel back the labels, where we dig into the cracks of history, the parts companies want you to forget. Today we're talking about a drink, but not just any drink. One of the most powerful brands in human history, Coca-Cola. It's everywhere, small-town diners, massive stadiums, vending machines in schools, billboards in Times Square. Coke isn't just a drink anymore. It's an empire. It's a feeling. But behind that iconic red label, behind those feel-good ads about happiness, there's a much darker story. One that starts with cocaine in the 1800s, winds through deceptive business practices, and ends in boardrooms where shareholders rule everything. So grab your glass, because today we're not drinking the Kool-Aid, we're exposing Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was born in 1886, invented by Dr. John Pemberton in Atlanta. Pemberton was a pharmacist with big ideas. He wasn't making a casual soft drink, he was creating a medicinal tonic, something he claimed could cure headaches, could cure morphine addiction, even cure impotence. The kicker? One ingredient was coca leaf extract, the same plant used to make cocaine. Early Coca-Cola contained 9 milligrams of cocaine per serving. Not enough to knock you out, but enough to give you a buzz, a little lift, a little spark. Pair that with caffeine from cola nuts, you had a recipe people called invigorating, energizing, and yes, addictive. Here's the thing. It worked. People absolutely loved it. Sales climbed fast, and Coca-Cola saw it as a miracle cure. This was an era when medicine was showmanship, less about science, more about selling dreams. Pemberton stumbled onto something huge, way bigger than he ever realized. By the 1900s, the public caught on. Concerns about cocaine's dangers grew, and Coca-Cola quietly started phasing it out. Around 1904, they made the switch. They used spent coca leaves instead. Most of the cocaine alkaloids were removed. But here's a fun fact for you. Coca-Cola still imports coca leaves today, processed through a special facility in New Jersey under strict government license. It's a reminder of something important. Coke has never fully cut ties with its past. Once the cocaine connection faded, Coke pivoted. They turned on to something even more powerful, branding. They weren't just selling a drink anymore, they were selling an idea, a feeling, happiness, togetherness. That perfect ice-cold bottle. Coke pioneered modern mass marketing. They plastered ads everywhere you looked, on buildings, in magazines, in train stations. They gave out branded calendars and clocks, serving trays with that red and white logo. By the mid-20th century, Coke was iconic. Not just a product, a cultural symbol. Think about that for a second. They literally shaped Santa Claus. The red suit, the jolly belly, the twinkle in his eye. That was Coca-Cola marketing from the 30s. They made Santa theirs. But behind the cheerful slogans, behind the smiling faces in every ad, the company was absolutely ruthless. They crushed smaller competitors without mercy, secured exclusive contracts with bottlers, pushed their product into every corner worldwide. They weren't just selling soda, they were building an empire, and they didn't care who got crushed. Coca-Cola's history has some very dark chapters. Let's talk about the stuff that they hide. First up, health, the sugar problem. As sugar consumption in America has skyrocketed, Coke played a role in downplaying its risks. For decades, they funded research that shifted blame away from sugar, blamed fat instead for obesity and disease. This wasn't just spin, this was corruption. Science for sale designed to protect their image, while people got sicker and sicker. Second, labor, the international operations. In countries like Colombia and Guatemala, Coke bottling plants face serious accusations, exploiting workers, suppressing unions, even being linked to violence against organizers. Now, the company denies direct involvement, but the allegations have been loud, persistent enough that killer Coke campaigns spread. Around the world, people started to pay attention. Third, the environment, the plastic crisis. Coca-Cola is one of its largest polluters. Those familiar with the red and white bottles, they clog rivers, pile up in landfills, swirl in massive patches in the ocean. The company makes big promises about sustainability, but critics say it's mostly greenwashing, a PR strategy designed to distract from the damage. The scale of the problem is massive, and Coke keeps pumping out plastic. Now let's pull back the curtain further. Who actually runs Coca-Cola? You think it's the CEO. You think it's the marketing executives, the public faces. But in reality, the true power? It lies within the shareholders. Coca-Cola is a publicly traded company. Its largest shareholders are investment giants: Berkshire Hathaway, Vanguard, BlackRock. Those aren't soda enthusiasts. They're financial powerhouses managing trillions. They don't care about the fizz. They care about the return on investment. That means every single decision gets filtered: cutting costs, outsourcing production, lobbying against sugar taxes, flooding markets in developing countries, all of it driven by profit. Not people, not health, just money. When you peel back the branding, when you strip away the nostalgia, Coca-Cola is less a drink, more a machine designed to generate wealth, keep money flowing upward to the shareholders. And despite all of this, Coca-Cola remains beloved. It's more than a drink to people. It's nostalgia, it's tradition, it's identity. Families share it at holidays and gatherings. Fans debate Coke versus Pepsi like religion. The brand has tied itself to emotions, comfort, joy, those warm, fuzzy feelings. And that's the genius of it, and also the danger. They've built such a powerful emotional connection that millions of people stay loyal, without questioning what's behind the curtain. It's a reminder of how easily we're sold, not just a product, an entire worldview. So here's the real talk. Coca-Cola isn't unique, not even close. It's just one example of corporate power, how powerful corporations sell us more than stuff. They sell us emotions, identities, culture itself. We've been trained to associate happiness with brands, comfort with a logo, nostalgia with sugar. But behind every slick ad campaign, there's a boardroom making decisions, based on profit, not people. Behind every smiling Santa Claus, there's a shareholder calculating dividends. Behind every bottle of Coke, there's a trail of sugar and plastic. Exploitation, environmental destruction, and manipulation. Now the bigger question is this: why do we fall for it? Why do we defend brands like family? Even when the facts are staring us down, the truth is we crave belonging. We want comfort. We want connection. We want to feel like we're part of something. And Coke knows how to tap into that. Companies like it study us like science. They know our weaknesses and our desires. And they know exactly what buttons to push. So maybe it's time we stop. We stop asking what a brand gives us and start asking what it takes away. Our health, our environment, our attention. Maybe it's time we remember something. A logo isn't a friend. It's a mask for power. That's it for today's Rewind, the dark history of Coca-Cola. Next time you crack open a can, remember it's more than just bubbles and sugar. It's a history lesson in branding, in addiction, in corporate control. If you got something from this episode, share it with a friend, post it, text it, tell somebody. Because the more we look past the labels, the harder it is for corporations to keep pulling the same tricks. And I want to hear from you. What brands have the darkest hidden stories? What products are we most blindly loyal to? Shoot me an email at realtalkrewindshow@gmail.com. Let's start the conversation. Until next time, this is Real Talk Rewind. I'm your host, Chris, reminding you that history isn't always clean, and it's not always what they put on the label.